actually. I got the wrong game name up there. Give me a sec. There we go. Controls. Uninverted. Alright. X-axis in boss. Let's just do uninverted for all this. Returning audio. Alright. Let's go. Oh, and thank you, Nojoto. Farewell. Always appreciate it. This game is already with its UI, especially, you know, it's true. So, fun fact on Kitten Burst. This is a game that we streamed a long time ago on Aqualounge in Season 1. We ran the demo, but I was running it on a, mini PC. It was really not equipped to be running it, and it behaved very strangely.
Burning bright in the forests of the night. What immortal cat or ride? Their flame thy fearful symmetry.
That's nice. Yeah, Gangstalk is going to be dope. So we find ourselves in an unusual situation that many people, I think, are going to get misconstrued. As spoken about before, there is a demand-side problem in games, where a lot of publishers have their current production stacks over-leveraged, and a perfect storm has converged to call their tabs all at once. This frame rate's a little rough. That's okay. I'll do what I can. A lot of people are going to look at this and they are going to consider this to be a demand-side problem, which I choose not to believe is accurate. The supply-side problem has been explained, and it is going to be exacerbated by consumer spending on games going down. And this is a little loud, so I'm actually going to... Oh, if I can... Oh, good gracious. I have a very convoluted setup in this scenario where my mouse is swapping between two PCs. A lot of people are convinced that people just aren't playing video games anymore because people have gotten bored with them, or there's some kind of, you know, there's the attention economy issue, but people are saying, oh, games just can't compete with short-form video, they just can't compete with Fortnite, they just can't compete with this or that or the other thing. You know, you have to have your game be Roblox and everything is centered. And that might be true for the large revenue mechanisms at large for these major labels, these major developer publishers. It's true that the current generation of those might be kind of boned. But at the same time, culturally, in kind of a soft inventory sort of assessment of how video games stand culturally, I feel like, you know, I've talked about how we're entering the post-gaming age. I would say the post-gaming age is here now. Oof, I got whacked. I can't see. Where am I supposed to go? Can I restart this race? No. Yeah, I would argue that we're in the post-gaming age now. Well, none of this is working quite right. Can I go here? No, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I feel like I was supposed to, I feel like I was supposed to go the right way and just know, and I was supposed to naturally fly into that, and that I did not. So let's try this one. See, now what is that all about? What is... Oh, I keep hitting the ground, and I'm not supposed to do that. I see. Alright, and there's the one I'm supposed to hit. Or is it this one? I'm a little confused here, I'm not gonna lie. But this game does have the look, which I appreciate. So that looks like I was supposed to hit that one. Was I supposed to hit that one? I don't really know. I'm just going to kind of fly around and talk. Oh, there are the cats again. Alright, and every time I hit this, I do it wrong. So that's the one we're supposed to go through. I'm supposed to be swooping and soaring, but I don't feel like I'm doing it right. Can I... Oh, I wish I could restart this. A little disoriented. Back to the menu. There's resume, options, and quit. Return to main menu, there we go. Alright, I'll try again. I'll skip this, I suppose. If I can, which I cannot. Let's try this again. I'm going to pay attention to this part before going back on my spiel so that I don't screw it up again. Supposed to keep up with these other cats, which I'm not particularly good at. The stick sensitivity is a bit... Yeah, post-gaming feels correct with how I feel disconnected from 90% of games. See, that's the issue. It's the disconnect. The disconnect, like the fragmentation of people's interests among games, I think is being confused for lack of interest in games overall. I don't think that's accurate. I think that that is a mistake being made by people who can't see beyond currently existing revenue models. Do I have to go through them all in order? Yeah, I do. Yeah, this game is a little loose to control at times. There we go. I feel like post-gaming more than I feel the post-gaming more than I have in a while. I have a joke, but the real takeaway here is that I'm finding myself catching up or looking at smaller media in general, especially games. Yeah, I feel like age and time and scale. Scale is the big one. Alright, let's see if I can actually do this without getting whacked. Yes, let's go. Alright, that's correct. Followed by this one. I'll follow the cats. Oh, see, the problem is I keep losing sight of them. Because I keep hitting this stuff. Is it that one that I was supposed to hit? Let's try it. It's not great to have a gravity mechanic when you're supposed to be hitting small gates close to the ground and the ground makes you spin. I would not call that a great design decision, no. But I do like this game overall. Okay, we're back in it. Kind of indicator above the gate would have been nice, but maybe my shaders aren't displaying properly. There we go. We're back in the saddle now. If there's a drift button, I do not know it yet. It has not been introduced to me in this tutorialized segment. There we go. I did it. Yeah, Danger Skew. That's a good point, is that it's attention that's currently at a premium. Everything being live service and everything demanding everybody's time all the time, time is a finite resource. And attention is a finite resource, and attention is what's at a premium right now. But as I've talked about with the whole post-gaming age theory, and post-gaming as a whole, the tent of the gamer monoculture got too big, and when you have something like a big tent get too large, you have a kind of a megafauna phenomenon happen. I don't like that. Yeah, you have this kind of megafauna phenomenon happen, and eventually megafauna, if the ecosystem continues to scale in order to feed them, it crashes. And so we are seeing a megafauna crash. But I don't think we are seeing a popularity crash or a demand crash per se. I think that demand has changed. And I think the hard reality is that, you know, the world where your game is competing with Balatro, or the world where your game is competing in Fortnite with Fortnite or Roblox, the fact of the matter is that Roblox, Balatro, and your game are probably in 3 entirely different industries. The hard part is going to be convincing people to actually do that exploration, because that exploration is going to be speculative. It's going to require speculative investment and speculative, putting feelers out there. You can't make something from nothing come there. I'm trying to do that as best as I can with aqualounge, but there is only so much of that I can do, as an individual. But make no mistake, you're going to hear a lot about how the video game industry is crashing. Also, first message from Getting Melt. I hope the VOD for this comes soon. I definitely want to hear more about this post-gaming talk. And from Mukai, it feels like every publisher is making all-or-nothing bets routine chasing live services, and they're all losing the dice rolls. Well, yeah, that's because they all did it. They all did it, and they all had the second place. Better luck next time. That's fine. I'm 40 and I've seen the way video games have shifted and adjusted in a way I feel like it honestly doesn't have to be this way. I agree, it doesn't have to be this way. But what's going to have to happen is new delineations of markets. The monoculture market, the gamer market, as everything competing with itself. Oh, I got a pss, pss, pss. That's cute. Poppy. Saber. These are cute little talk noises. I like the little glistening eye character profile, by the way. That's cute. There are a lot of interesting things going on when you look away from the AAA field into live industry service. If the whole industry were to crash, would there still be venues for their diamonds in the rough? Yes, that is actually one of the reasons I ran this game, by the way, Danger Skew. That is correct. I'm going to try to get the page for this, because Nojoto is out. This game, Kitten Burst, is currently on sale. You can grab it for, I believe, 40% off. Oh. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the lucky one. It is a cat racing game in cyberspace, yes. Ayo. John Madden. John Madden, football. $2000X. $2000X is in the past. That's kind of messed up. Cyberspace has been abandoned. That's kind of what's going on right now. That's a good point. Getting Melt brought up an excellent question. Will there still be venues for those diamonds in the rough? That's what is going to have to be built. The venues are the things that we lack, and that's part of what the whole aqualounge experiment is trying to discover, what those venues might look like, and maybe even to build one. Trying to define it by vibe. But that's where the real challenge is going to be. But where I do believe, and this is where my hopeful note comes in, Humble Popstar, the Flame Wars is part of the lore. That's right. As long as Gabe Newell drawing breath, Steam will exist, but no one lives forever. That's true. Steam will exist to spite Microsoft. Although Steam is doing pretty well with their hardware. Let's see, what am I getting? Receiving packet. I got a packet. Shiver. Oh, we got a keygen. That's pretty good. Nice. I got a keygen. That's pretty good. Tachyonic stunt recover uber boost. I got boost power. That's right. Oh yeah, this is where I know this whole... Cats are sold. You condense your body into solid state to fling yourself at great speeds like self-impelling from a roller coaster. So this... Oh, yeah. So... Boost. That is not the boost button, I'm afraid. That's too bad. Options. Controls. Up. Okay, there we go. Left boost. Well, I'm not boosting, unfortunately. But I think do I need to build some boost up, maybe? Yeah, I need to do some near missing. There we go. Yeah, I had to... Oh, bonk. Yeah, I had to build up my boost gauge. There we go. Let's boost. Whee! There we go. Got it. And so that's kind of the risk-reward mechanic of this game, which is the thing I liked the most about it, is that you have your near misses get you some juice. Hello, Explosion. A lot of people coming in on the late side tonight. People tuning in from the West Coast, I guess. But, so, where there is upheaval, there is opportunity. And I think that the point about spaces, scenes, marketplaces, and kind of cultural hubs of where to find games and kind of participate in them is what is the main casualty of the gamer tent growing too large. When all of the big stuff that we talked about earlier starts to pack up, the vacuum there, it's going to take some time for people to figure out how much of a demand is still there. Oh, can I interact with this? I can talk to that. I have to work on my presentation. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, it's a little monk's little monastery, like a computer monastery. That's cute. I like these computer monks. Yeah, I've had that happen to me. There's another guy out here somewhere. And so, since we're undergoing this kind of mitosis, and the gamer market is splitting and fracturing, everybody's going to be really gun-shy about putting any money towards anything until somebody puts forth the first investment. And right now, the people with the money to do that are all like AI companies and a bunch of other goons. But we got to ignore those guys because they're going to try to throw their money around and do all sorts of things that aren't relevant to game development to try to peg their game development platforms on. Like that was true with a bunch of Web3 people getting into game dev things. Like they wanted to make crypto coin powered gaming. It was all nonsense. It was always nonsense, and a lot of that stuff is kind of stopped, or nobody bought it because it wasn't really a product that realistically existed. And so there's going to be a lot of that from AI companies. But the real question is, who is going to redefine the playing field? Who is going to create these new spaces and channels for being the center of games for certain people? Because they're going to be different. The world in which Fortnite, Balatro, and your indie game all exist under the same tent cannot stand, and it's not going to stand, and it's going to end very shortly. But the question is, if those are three different places, who is going to define their bounds? It will cost money to do that, and it's money that people are going to be very sheepish about paying in the current economic conditions. But I really do think, I am genuinely convinced that if there was ever a time for indie labels of any sort to make a difference, it's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and unpaid shit, which is going to make me furious. No one suspects me as the spy. I like this water cooler. I like the anachronism of the water cooler at the digital monastery. Probably going to do one more race and then wrap things up. What about this pole here? What do you do? If I touch that. If I go in here. This looks important. Anything up here? No. Oh, I can actually touch the ground here. Here's a question mark. Ah, aha, here we are. This is what we want to be in. I'm not going to read all that tonight. I'm sorry. Another cat. Hello. Oh no. In the indie space, I still think a lot about Humble Games and Annapurna. Both essentially don't exist anymore, but have gone on pretending to anyway, so everyone kind of forgot what happened to them. But literally all the people are gone, I think. Yeah, that's kind of, from what I understand, the case. Annapurna... Well, Annapurna does exist, but it's like pivoting to big budget stuff. That's all Ellison money. That's a big thing. That's all, you know. Paramount is involved in that somehow. Not with Annapurna directly, but the whole Ellison clan rivalry, and that's a whole game of politics that I'm not going to really get into. But oh, and down here there's some stuff too. But if there was ever a time for indie labels... Oh, interact. That's what I want. I want to interact with you. What am I doing? Oh, I'm copying data to FAQ. Alright. Well, I got some data. That's all I really know. But, here's a guy. Oh, poor fella. Because there's this opportunity, or there's going to be this redefinition of the spaces in between games and how people discover them. In a sense, this is going to be a little bit of a playing field leveler if you can organically gain attention. I pondered this myself. If the way that big money is being spent isn't working anymore, and traditional advertising isn't functioning super well, then $50,000 of ad spend versus $50 million of ad spend. Obviously, reaching more eyes is going to move the needle individually, but I feel as if there was ever an opportunity for smaller labels to start defining the conversation around games, it's probably coming up. And during that time, when everybody says, oh, the game industry is crashing, the games industry is crashing, whoever has the opportunity to put the time and effort into that sustainably has the opportunity to carve a piece of the pie for themselves. I think this can be done for good, and I think this can be done for evil. I think that part of the Aqualounge mission is to try to figure out the way in which independents can do it. Ultimately, video games are a lifestyle product like music. And the way that we spend our time around them, because of how much of a time sink they are, because of the mechanical mastery, the active input that they command of us, the meeting in the middle that we have to do, it's a thing you participate in. And when you participate in something like that, it defines a lot of your life experience. And when something like that defines a lot of your life experience, like, you can be a cinemaphile and have that be a lifestyle, because, you know, the cinemaphile is a lifestyle. And you can listen to music casually, and you can watch films casually, and those aren't really lifestyle things. But people who go to concerts, that's a lifestyle choice. That's a thing that people take, you know, money and time out of their lives in order to build their lives around them. Well, I don't know what to do here, so I'm just going to go, I guess. I feel like that's the closest thing to video games. What do you mean? Games are exactly like Hollywood, baby. It's all showbiz. No. So games are a lifestyle product, and I've talked about the how and the why Or no, the what and the why of lifestyle. I'm not going to go into that right now. I'll talk about that a little more in a YouTube video. That'll come sooner than later. And so the question is, will there be the opportunity to build a lifestyle ecosystem around games that appeal with a certain why and offer a certain what? The time for that to be determined is probably coming, I would say, within the first year or two after whatever recession that we're thinking about having happens, if we do have one. Of course, American politics are the funny wild card in this, but I don't even want to. I can't predict how those are going to go. So that I don't even address because that's kind of a chaos factor at this point. And ultimately, with the games industry, American politics are only just a part of it. I feel like, frankly, a lot of people have been... Rebecca Valentine was just talking about this. A lot of people are moving their ops out of the U.S. to develop in Europe and elsewhere because the U.S. is just so damn expensive. So America might even have less and less to do with this conversation, and frankly, that might be for the best. But the big thing I say to watch for, my big prognostication, there are two signs to watch for. The first is whenever the economic situation kind of coalesces. And the second is when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. I feel like all of the tab calling that I've been talking about, all of the goodwill and the pixie dust running out, I feel like GTA 6 is going to be the moment where a lot of that happens, because that's going to kind of define the cadence of what's going on in the console space. So when those two things align, I think the game will be afoot. But I do genuinely believe, wholeheartedly, that it doesn't have to go bad. Oh, the cats have gathered here. This is mysterious. If I went up the beam. See what happens. World's first $100 video game, and it has to be a buggy mess. Well, I don't know if going up... Oh, here we go. Yeah, going up the beam. Oh. I'm afraid I'm not quite ready for you yet. Okay. Well, I would like to know... Oh, let's talk to this guy. Well, I did figure it out. That's kind of cool. Let's talk to this guy. What's up, bud? This is my patch and null space. So, in a way, poetically, this is kind of where we're at right now. The content wells are drying up for the big sort of banner flyers. But when I'm telling you, like, it's kind of a the night is darkest just before the dawn sort of thing. Look for what happens after GTA 6. And how the cards start to fall. Because I think that's the moment in which the mitosis is going to start to be noticed by everybody. And once the mitosis starts to be noticed by everybody, that's when people are going to start thinking the same thing that I'm thinking here tonight. People are going to start putting the pieces together about it. That what we have now is an industry that's fractured, and we can't put it back together again because it was just too big at scale. That doesn't mean that big budget games are going to go away. They're going to exist in their own pocket. But the question is going to be, what's everything else? If bigger is better isn't how we scale, and, you know, ease of access is better isn't how we scale, and, you know, more attention is better isn't how we scale. How do we scale? And it's going to be a lateral scale. It's not going to be a vertical scale or an internal scale, if any of that makes any sense. But that's my thoughts about what this Microsoft thing means. I feel like we've entered another chapter of the post-gaming sort of events that are leading to the phenomenon that I'm predicting. And I can look back at this and I can say, oh, this is all wrong. And it might very well be. This is just the ramblings of one guy on Twitch. But what I'm trying to say is, even in all of this, and I'm not saying, oh, just like go indie, work on the next Undertale. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of people are losing their jobs right now, and it sucks big time. A lot of people aren't going to come back to the industry, and that's heartbreaking. A lot of institutional knowledge is going to be gone, and there's no getting it back. The cost is real, but it is not final, is what I'm trying to say. So you're going to hear a lot of doom and gloom. And you're going to hear a lot of, you know, video games are uncool. You know, is this it for video games? It's not. It's uncertain growth. But a single-cell organism has to split eventually, right? The megafauna are starting to figure it out. And they figured it out too late. But that doesn't mean we have to. And we're in no dearth of things to talk about or exciting things to discover in games. This stream proves that. I have cool, fresh stuff every, 3 times a month. So with that, the best is yet to come. Aqualounge pillar number 4 stands strong, I think. And I'm kind of running out of gas for the evening, so I think I'm probably going to leave it here. But I hope that helps make sense of a senseless situation. I hope that helps put it in context of where we started. Oh, thank you for the follow. Very much. Getting melt. It may feel like what we're experiencing is totally random and terrifying. And it is terrifying, but I hope to put it, at least in my perspective, into its place in the bigger picture. And it's true that things are tough. And I don't think we're at the bottom yet. I think we're far from it. But the game isn't over, and people aren't leaving games behind. And in that sense, there is opportunity to rediscover and redefine what's good about games, even to plant the seeds of an actual living culture instead of whatever bread and circus pony shows that we've had before. But the forces of evil are at work too. You know, the AI, auto-generation, neural net, Minecraft, whatever. So it's important to think about it in those terms, and to be ready to stand by what we care about and make it thrive. Every time you show up to an aqualounge stream and you're gabbing with one another, it makes me really happy because there's more and more people every time. And this is the kind of thing that's going to define what's good about the future in games. I'm just one house, and other people are going to figure it out. And thanks for showing up. And I hope that, even if it doesn't make it better, I hope it makes it feel a little less chaotic, random, and scary. And that's my soapbox. You've all been wonderful tonight. Keep cool out there. And we will see you on, if I can get the date, we'll see you on July 16th for Retro Wednesdays. We'll keep it a little lighter next time. Come on through for that. Until then, stay cool and see you later. Good night.